Hey guys, Kelsey here, and we have just received some very exciting news about the development of Lost Records Bloomin' Rage. The reveal trailer from the Game Awards sent the community a buzz with so many unanswered questions. Is this game related to Life is Strange? How is this one going to play out? Who are these characters? What is that song from the reveal trailer? Anyone else? Just me? Okay. Anyway, I hope I can help shine some light on some of the speculation floating around as we now have more information on how the developers over at Don't Nod Montreal are preparing their newest title to live up to the anticipation of what could potentially be a successor to Life is Strange 1 and 2. We know that work on Lost Records Bloomin' Rage began after creative director Michel Koch and executive producer Luc Bagadou got the opportunity to expand overseas from Don't Nod Paris. Their vision for a new universe in the creation of a studio that prioritized ambition and creative freedom allowed them to fully embrace Don't Nod's mission of creating meaningful and immersive stories that resonate with players and make an impact. But what does this mean for their future project? In a recent article published by Eurogamer, Michel Koch speaks on their departure from Square Enix and therefore Life is Strange. We really love what we did on Life is Strange and Life is Strange 2, but as you know, the IP is owned by Square Enix, and at a point, we can only do what they want to do with the franchise. We worked with them as the publisher, we sold them the franchise when we created it, and now they own it and decide how it evolves and where it goes. Michel goes on to say that this break came at a natural point for the studio as they evolved. Their departure from Life is Strange was an opportunity for them to start on something new that they could still own creatively, that they could publish, enjoy, foresee, and ultimately decide the future of. Don't Nod's time working on the beloved Life is Strange series has come to an end, but with closure comes new beginnings and innovation. We've had this opportunity to create the studio on the basis that we wanted. Now, for the first time, we can build a strategy regarding how we're going to make a studio dedicated to this franchise. We shape the way we work, the creative team, the production, the tools, the tech, everything is made toward this goal, the Lost Records franchise, but also the Don't Nod Montreal project. And if that wasn't enough to get you hyped, let's get into what that actually means. Set to launch later this year, Don't Nod Montreal's new narrative adventure game, Lost Records Bloomin' Rage, is centered around 4 teenage girls in the 1990s, with a second timeline following their adult lives in the present day. Clearly, Lost Records shares plenty of Life is Strange's DNA with a focus on young adult friendships and a similar dose of magical realism. There's also, this time around, a plan for the series and its characters to continue, something the original Life is Strange ending was not written with in mind. It's an adventure game, so you will have the staples of the genre we had before with choices, dialogue options, environmental storytelling, and exploration. You will feel at home with that. That said, Koch acknowledges it's also been several years since our last game. Yeah guys, Life is Strange 2 concluded in December of 2019. It's going on 5 years now. And the team is keen to not let the grass grow under their feet. How can we make the player have agency in different ways? How can we improve interactivity? How can we invent new dialogue systems or ways for players to interact with the game? For now, the answers to those questions lie under wraps, though it's reassuring to hear these are questions being considered. With this game, we're also setting up the cornerstones of maybe something bigger, where we can directly write those characters in a way where we know we can bring them back, where we can have other stories with those characters, with the world and universe we're creating. We already know where we could go in the future to tell other stories within the same setting and the same set of characters in the future, if things go well. But balancing the ability for players to make seismic choices like the ending of Life is Strange 1, which split a game's narrative with the desire to continue on and pick up diverging story threads, it's not easy, Koch admits. Other game series have struggled, but Don't Nod Montreal are not put off. We will have really different endings in the game with a lot of player agency. I'm still really proud of the Bay or Bay ending and how you definitely create two paths that are very different with your decisions, and we want to keep this kind of agency for players where they feel they have defined parts of the story and that they have a real voice with their character and within the story of the game. How would Bloom & Rage do this? Don't Nod Montreal isn't quite yet ready to say, but the hints I got sounded intriguing. We are working with some ways and elements in the storytelling that will allow us to still go back to games even if there are different branches. It's a balance to find because of course we cannot make one game that has X number of endings. Then the next game you have to start with X different starting points. We have to find ways to come back to common links because we cannot make an infinity of branches. But we know we have ways with the storytelling to make that happen that will still feel very powerful for the players. We should reveal some of that at a later date. Bloom & Rage features 4 main characters, but Kosh told me that the game would again feature a single protagonist character for players to get to know and help shape. I feel like sometimes when you switch point of view, you get disconnected. It gives more of a feeling being a mastermind storyteller rather than really caring about the one character. We really want to focus on you finding your place within this group of friends. This is even more important in Lost Records Bloom & Rage as the story hinges on the characters' relationships, not just as teenagers but in their adult life as well. Something Kosh notes is completely new for his team. You will get the adult point of view, whereas in our previous games, it was always teenagers. We're getting older ourselves, and our audience is growing up and getting older, and we were thinking it was interesting to still talk about teenagers, but also showcase another point of view, like how do you reflect on who you were as a teenager growing up today? Doing so requires a strong knowledge of your characters and the ability to craft them authentically, especially in this case, with a main cast that's all female. Okay, so they are not only dedicating their new studio to this franchise, but are actively searching for ways to improve and implement systems that are significant to player experience. Guys, Life is Strange 1 and 2 walked so that Lost Records could run. Let me just go over the main points again here because these interviews just told us so much about what we can expect from this new game. This new franchise even. Here's what we know so far. Bloom & Rage is centered around 4 teenage girls in the 1990s, all female cast. From the reveal trailer, we know that it is July of 1995, a once-in-a-lifetime summer. Lost Records shares plenty of Life is Strange's DNA. We have confirmation that there will be choices, dialogue options, environmental storytelling, exploration, diverse endings in 2 different timelines. One during their teenage years and another during their adulthood. I'm so excited, guys. We also know that the developers are seeking to improve player agency, interactivity, and dialogue systems. They want us to feel truly connected to these characters. And the thing that gets me the most hype, the thing that gets me practically jumping out of my seat is the mere idea of Lost Records being a series that brings its characters back and does them justice in the process of doing so. Can you imagine 2 Lost Records games later we get to see our girls again? I know we don't even know who they are yet. I know that we have only got our trailer that was like a minute long. I know, but it's just so intriguing to think about. Think of the possibilities. Think of how cool all of this is. I love these developers. I love their games. I have been a fan since 2015. I remember when episodes of Life is Strange 1 were still coming out. I would literally run home from high school so that I could play. I'm about to graduate college, guys, just to put that into perspective, okay? You guys are also fans. You know that these developers are passionate. Let them cook. Life is Strange 1, masterpiece. Life is Strange 2, incredible. Lost Records, go ahead and start getting your tissue boxes ready. I'm just letting you know, it's been almost 5 years. They're about to serve us something phenomenal. I also want to point out again that we will only have one main protagonist. There's going to be group dynamics with a primary focus on finding your place amongst your companions. One main protagonist, 4 main characters. If you haven't seen my reveal trailer theory video, I mentioned that I believe that if a certain character had some sort of power or some sort of secret, it was going to be this character right here. And now that we know that there's only one main character, I once again think that she will be it. And I'll tell you why. In the reveal trailer, there seemed to be major focus on this character in particular, with 2 close-ups of her eye. I then later noticed that on the Steam page banner, the Lost Records logo was positioned directly over this character's eye. Again, this is all theory, but she does have that bisexual haircut too. I'm just saying. I mean, 2 close-ups of her eye, the camcorder, throw in the bisexual haircut if you will. It's giving main character vibes. There's obviously some supernatural elements taking place as mentioned in the articles here. The blending of reality, dreams, and the weirdness of the unknown. A story-driven journey through time, a liminal space, fascinating and unsettling, transitional states, secrets. Although it is early, when you think of all these things in the context of this game, these developers, when you consider what helped inspire this narrative, Stephen King's It, The Twilight Zone, The X-Files, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Twin Peaks, I can only say that we're in for a wild ride and one hell of a mystery. I cannot wait to see what Don't Not has in store for us this time. Hopefully we'll get some more teasers and trailers soon. I'd love to know more about our group of friends and some more hints about our powers or what exactly happened that night in the woods. For those of you that want to check out the articles referenced in this video, I'll link them in the description below. They offer major insight into what we can expect from Lost Records Bloom and Rage. That's it from me, guys. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more updates on Lost Records Bloom and Rage, please consider hitting subscribe and leaving a like to support the channel. As we get more information, I'll surely be covering it. Was there anything from the articles that stood out to you, or perhaps you have a theory that you'd like to share? Let me know in the comments if so. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye bye.